Far beyond the known human colonies, in the cold and empty reaches of space, a small team of explorers traveled silently. Their ship, the Orion's Light, moved slowly through the darkness, its lights the only glow in a vast black void. Captain Arya Kane stood at the front of the control room, her eyes fixed on the holographic screens floating before her. The mission was simple, or so it seemed. They were to map uncharted areas of the galaxy, scan for resources and report anything unusual. But deep in this abandoned sector, nothing had stirred for centuries. No signals, no life, no history, just endless black. Lieutenant Rin Voss, the ship's communications officer, tapped rapidly on the console. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," he said, his voice low and hesitant. A soft, almost rhythmic pulse appeared on the screen. "It's a signal, but it's not from any known human source." Arya leaned closer. The signal was weak, like a whisper from the edge of the universe. "Can you trace it?" she asked. Rin shook his head. "It's moving, and it's ancient. I've never seen anything like it. Our databases have no record of this ship or its signal." The rest of the crew gathered around. Dr. Leora Chen, the ship's scientist, examined the readings with fascination. "The energy signature. It's incredibly old. Could it be a relic from 1,000 years ago?" "1,000 years lost in the void," Arya murmured. She felt a chill run down her spine. The crew had heard legends of lost ships, missions sent from Earth and other human colonies that vanished without a trace. But no one expected to find one. Not here. Not now. The Orion's Light followed the signal's faint trail, weaving between dark asteroids and drifting space debris. As they approached, a large shadow emerged in front of them. A ship floated silently in space. Its hull was dark, covered in scars from time, yet it seemed intact, almost untouched by the centuries. "By the stars," muttered Rin. The ship was enormous, unlike anything in modern human fleets. Strange symbols were carved along its sides, glowing faintly with a soft blue light. No markings indicated its origin. No name. Nothing. "Scan it," Arya commanded. The ship's sensors hummed, sending beams across the ancient vessel. Data streamed in, but it revealed nothing. The ship's material was unfamiliar. Its design, advanced yet archaic, confused even Dr. Chen. "It's alive somehow," Leora whispered. "Not in the way we think of life, but the energy inside it, it's active. It's waiting for something, or someone." Suddenly, the ship's hull emitted a low hum, a sound that resonated through the Orion's Light. The crew froze. Lights on the ancient vessel flickered. Panels slid open. Mechanical arms moved, as if the ship were awakening from a long sleep. "Captain, it's activating," Rin exclaimed, his hands flying over the controls. Arya's heart raced. The explorers had trained for danger, for hostile aliens or asteroid collisions, but this was something unknown. Something alive. Something that had been lost for 1,000 years and had now woken. The ship drifted closer, moving with a precision that was almost intelligent. The crew could see strange energy lines running along its hull, pulsing with light, like the heartbeat of a giant being. "It's guiding us," Leora said, her voice trembling. "It wants us to follow it." Arya swallowed hard. "Or it wants to trap us," she muttered. But curiosity overcame fear. She had to know its story. "Prepare a docking team," she ordered. "We're going aboard." As they approached, the ship seemed to sense them. A large hatch slowly opened on its side, revealing a dim interior. Shadows moved inside, and the faint glow of unknown machinery lit the darkness. The airlock hummed, as if inviting the explorers into the unknown. Rin's hands shook as he recorded the moment. "Captain, this is incredible. We might be the first humans to see something from the lost centuries. The first to touch history itself." Arya nodded. She felt the weight of responsibility pressing on her. One wrong move could destroy them all, or worse, awaken something they could not control. Yet the pull of discovery was stronger. The ancient ship, floating in the empty void for 1,000 years, was no longer silent. It had awakened, and it had chosen to reveal itself. As the Orion's Light drew closer, the crew felt a strange connection, like the ship was aware of their presence, waiting for them. And in that silent moment, filled with awe and fear, Arya knew one thing: nothing would ever be the same again. The ship's hatch fully opened, and the darkness inside seemed to whisper, promising secrets long forgotten, waiting to be uncovered. And with that, the stage was set. The discovery had begun, but what lay inside that ancient vessel was more than the crew could imagine. The ancient ship loomed before them, enormous and silent, yet alive in a way that made the crew uneasy. Its hull gleamed faintly under the lights of the Orion's light, casting strange shadows across the void of space. Captain Arya Kane and her crew prepared themselves to board, hearts pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. The docking process was tense. The ancient ship seemed to respond to their approach, almost as if it could feel their presence. As the airlocks aligned, a soft hum resonated through the hull, a sound that vibrated deep in their bones. Lieutenant Rin Voss carefully guided the team, his fingers trembling as he manipulated the controls. "Everyone ready?" Arya asked, her voice steady despite the tension in her chest. "Yes, Captain," replied Dr. Leora Chin, scanning the ship's surface with a portable sensor. "The energy readings are incredible. This ship hasn't been touched in centuries, yet its systems are still active. It's like it never slept." Arya nodded and led the team into the airlock. As the doors slid open, a rush of cold, recycled air greeted them. The interior of the ancient ship was vast, dark, and silent, filled with long corridors that stretched into shadows. Panels lined the walls, glowing faintly with symbols no one could recognize. This is incredible," whispered Rin, eyes wide as he moved his flashlight over the strange markings. "It's like history itself is alive in here." As they moved deeper into the ship, the hum grew louder, almost like a heartbeat. Leora's sensors detected something unusual, a faint energy field surrounding a section of the ship ahead. "There's something in that chamber," she said. "Something, or someone." The crew exchanged nervous glances. The air felt heavy, thick with anticipation. They had no idea what they would find: an ancient human? Alien technology? Or something far stranger? Finally, they reached a large chamber at the heart of the ship. The walls were lined with smooth metal, and the soft glow of the symbols reflected on the floor. In the center of the room stood a single cryogenic pod, its surface frosted over, and a faint blue light pulsing inside. "Captain, that pod," Rin said, voice trembling. "It's alive. There's someone in there." Arya stepped closer, peering at the figure inside. The frozen human looked peaceful, untouched by time, yet clearly ancient. The idea that a person had survived 1,000 years in this pod was almost impossible to comprehend. Leora checked her instruments. "The life signs are stable," she said, astonished. Whatever technology preserved this human, it worked perfectly. They survived, 1,000 years lost in space. The team debated what to do. Arya felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on her. "If we wake them, we don't know what could happen," she said. "But if we don't, we may be missing the chance to uncover history itself." Rin hesitated, then finally spoke. "I say we wake them. This is the moment we've trained for. This is why we explore the unknown." Arya nodded slowly. "Very well. Prepare the awakening sequence." Leora carefully connected her instruments to the pod. Soft beeps echoed through the chamber as the cryogenic systems powered down. The blue light inside the pod grew brighter, then began to fade. Slowly, the frost melted and the figure inside began to stir. The human's eyes opened. They were clear and bright, yet filled with confusion and caution. They looked at the explorers with a gaze that was both curious and distant, as if seeing ghosts from a forgotten time. "Where am I?" the human whispered, voice weak but steady. "You're safe," Arya said gently. "We're explorers. You've been asleep for a very long time." The human's eyes widened. "A long time, yes. The mission, the crew," they paused, struggling to remember. "What year is this? Where is Earth?" The crew exchanged nervous glances. This human had memories that stretched across centuries, memories that were lost to everyone else. Leora stepped forward. "You've been asleep for 1,000 years. Everything you knew is gone. But we can help you understand what happened." The awakened human looked around the chamber, eyes scanning the strange symbols on the walls, the advanced technology surrounding them. "This ship, it was meant to remain hidden," they said slowly. "For centuries it had to stay, to protect something. To protect humanity." Arya felt a shiver run down her spine. The ship was no ordinary vessel. It was ancient, yes, but it was also a guardian, carrying secrets that had been forgotten for 1,000 years. Suddenly the ship shuddered. Lights along the walls flickered, and soft mechanical movements echoed through the corridors. The explorers froze. The vessel was alive, aware of their presence and reacting in ways no one could predict. "What is it doing?" Rin whispered. "It's communicating," Leora said, awe in her voice. "I think it senses our intentions. It knows we mean no harm, but it's alive. Not like us but alive." The awakened human rose slowly from the pod. Their movements were cautious, but their gaze was sharp, aware. "There's no time," they said. "Enemies, long forgotten, they are coming. This ship, it kept me safe for centuries, but the danger will not wait." The crew's hearts raced. They had found history itself, preserved in a single human and a single ship. But with this awakening, a new journey had begun, a journey into a past long lost and a future unknown. And as the ancient ship hummed and pulsed around them, the explorers realized that the greatest mysteries were still ahead. The chamber was quiet, but the tension was thick. The crew of the Orion's Light stood around the awakened human, whose eyes now seemed to carry the weight of centuries. They moved slowly, as if every step through this unfamiliar world was a test. Captain Arya Kane studied the human carefully. "We need to know who you are, and why you were here," she said. "You've been asleep for 1,000 years. Everything has changed. We can help you." The human's gaze shifted, scanning the crew and the strange vessel around them. "Help," they whispered, voice hoarse but commanding. "Help is not enough. The mission must continue." Lieutenant Rinvos frowned. "Mission? What mission? What are you talking about?" The human's eyes darkened with memories they could barely put into words. "Earth sent me to guard something. A secret, a warning. I cannot fail. Not even now." Dr. Leora Chen stepped closer, curiosity overcoming caution. "What is it you were guarding? What happened 1,000 years ago?" The human looked away, their expression haunted. "A betrayal. Humanity thought we were lost, forgotten. The enemies we fought, they thought we vanished. But the ship, it remained. It survived, and so did I." Arya felt a chill run down her spine. The ancient ship was not just a vessel, it was a time capsule, carrying secrets and technology long lost to history. "You mean, the ship saved you?" she asked. The human nodded slowly. "It preserved me, kept me hidden, protected me from those who would destroy everything. And now, it awakens because the threat returns." Rin swallowed hard. "Threat? What kind of threat? Aliens? Or humans?" The human's eyes met his, piercing and intense. "Both. Those who betrayed, and those who seek control. They have waited, centuries, for this moment." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. The quiet, abandoned galaxy they had explored now felt dangerous, filled with secrets that had survived 1,000 years. And they were standing in the heart of one. Leora spoke carefully. "Then we must help you. We have the technology, the knowledge, and the numbers. You cannot face this alone." The human shook their head. "You do not understand. I cannot rely on others, not yet. The ship, it chooses who may be trusted. And it has chosen you." Arya's heart raced. "Chosen us? How?" The human turned to the ship, gesturing at the glowing symbols and pulsating energy lines that ran along its walls. "It senses loyalty, courage, and purpose. You are alive in ways that matter. And for that, it allows you to stand here. But there is little time." Rin stepped forward, excitement and fear mixing in his voice. "Captain, do you hear that? The ship, it's alive. And it's guiding us. It's choosing us." The human nodded, their eyes scanning the room with urgency. "The enemies, they will come. The same forces that destroyed my crew, that forced us into hiding, they are returning. They will not stop until everything is under their control." Arya clenched her fists. "Then we fight. We protect this ship and we protect you. We don't know who these enemies are, but we will face them together." The human allowed a small, approving nod. "Good. You are brave, and brave is what this mission demands. But understand, the ship is more than a vessel. It has knowledge, weapons, and power that must not fall into the wrong hands. It will guide us, but it will test us as well." Leora leaned closer to the human. "What kind of tests?" The human's expression darkened. "Test of courage, of loyalty, of understanding. This ship is alive. It has consciousness. It chooses who may access its secrets, who may command its power. One mistake, and it could destroy us all." Rin's eyes widened. "Destroy us? But it helped preserve you for 1,000 years." The human's voice was calm but firm. "Yes, but preservation is not mercy. It is control. The ship protects what must be preserved. It tests what may survive. And now, it tests you." Arya took a deep breath. She knew this was no ordinary mission. This was a journey into a past long lost, and a future that was uncertain. But she also knew they could not turn back. The crew had come too far. The ship had chosen them, and now they were bound to its purpose. Suddenly, the chamber hummed louder. Lights pulsed in rapid rhythm, and the walls vibrated slightly. The humans' eyes widened with recognition and fear. "They are here," they whispered. "The signal, the hunters, they have tracked the ship. We are not alone." The crew froze. Outside, the dark void of space seemed calm. But the energy in the chamber betrayed a presence, a silent and deadly force closing in on them. Arya turned to the awakened human. "Then we prepare. Whatever comes, we face it together." The human nodded, their centuries-old wisdom meeting the determination of the explorers. "Yes, together. But remember, the ship watches. It knows more than you think. And it will decide who survives." In that moment, the crew realized that their discovery was not just a mission, it was a responsibility. The ancient ship, the preserved human, and the secrets they carried were all part of a larger story. A story that had waited 1,000 years to be told. And as the hum of the ship grew louder, pulsing like a heartbeat in the dark, the explorers understood one simple truth: the adventure had only just begun. The chamber hummed with energy, and the crew of the Orion's Light felt the weight of centuries pressing on their shoulders. The awakened humans stood in the center, their gaze distant as if looking through time itself. Captain Arya Kane stepped closer. "You need to tell us. Who are you? Why were you sent here? Why is the ship still alive?" The human inhaled deeply, memories flooding back like a torrent. "I am Commander Kale Varric," they said, voice steady but filled with emotion. "I was part of a mission from Earth, a mission that was erased from history. We were the pioneer fleet. Our orders were simple: protect humanity's most valuable secrets and safeguard a weapon, a technology so powerful, it could change the course of history." Lieutenant Rin Voss's eyes widened. "A weapon? What kind of weapon?" Kale shook their head. "It was not just a weapon. It was knowledge. Knowledge of energy, of matter, of forces that humans were not ready to control. Our enemies, they wanted it. Not just humans but others, forces from beyond the colonies. And we failed, partly. The fleet was destroyed. The mission was forgotten. Earth erased our names from records. I was the only one who survived. And this ship, it kept me alive." Dr. Leora Chin stepped forward, awed and disturbed. 8,000 years, you've been alone in sleep while the galaxy moved on. How did the ship protect you?" Kale's eyes softened, almost reverent. "The ship is alive, not like us but alive. It preserved me, shielded me from the destruction, and waited. It waited for the moment when the galaxy would be ready, when the threat would return. And now, that time has come." Arya felt a shiver run down her spine. "Threat? Meaning someone or something is hunting you?" Kale nodded. "Yes. Those who destroyed the Pioneer fleet are still out there. They have grown stronger while humanity forgot us. And the technology we protected, they will do anything to find it. That is why the ship awakened. It knew we were not safe anymore." Rin looked at the glowing panels along the walls. "So, the ship has been hiding in this empty galaxy all this time? Waiting?" Kale's gaze turned serious. "Yes. It was lost, just like we were. 1,000 years lost. But not useless. Every system, every corridor, every symbol in this ship has a purpose. It holds records, tools, weapons, and knowledge beyond modern comprehension. It waits for those who are worthy." Leora's voice trembled slightly. "Worthy? How does it choose?" Kale's expression darkened. "It tests loyalty, courage, intelligence. It watches. And it only reveals what can be used responsibly. One wrong move, and its power could destroy everything in the wrong hands." Arya's mind raced. "Then our mission isn't just to explore. It's to protect the ship, protect you, and prepare for whatever comes next." Kale's lips tightened. "Exactly. But we must act carefully. The enemies are intelligent, patient, and relentless. They remember what humans have forgotten. They will strike where we least expect it." Suddenly, the ship's hum grew louder, pulsing like a heartbeat through the chamber. Kale's eyes widened in recognition. "It senses them. They are close. Too close. We have little time." Rin glanced nervously at Arya. "We need a plan. What do we do first?" Kale turned toward the glowing corridors. "We explore the ship fully. There are chambers that contain knowledge of the past. There are weapons and defenses that must be understood. And there is a record of the enemy, their strategies, and their weaknesses. We must prepare before they arrive." Arya nodded. "Then we move quickly. We learn, we defend, and we survive. Together." Kale's gaze softened as they looked at the crew. "Together. But remember, time is not on our side. Humanity may have forgotten us, but our enemies never did. They are patient. And they will not forgive." The crew moved through the corridors with Kale, scanning the ancient panels, the glowing symbols, and strange devices they could not comprehend. Every corner of the ship seemed alive, pulsating with hidden energy as if observing their actions. "This ship is more than a vessel," Kale whispered. "It is a guardian of history, a keeper of truths humanity is not yet ready to face. And now, it has chosen you to witness them." Leora ran her fingers over a panel that displayed images from centuries ago. Maps of galaxies, diagrams of unknown technology, and faces of humans long forgotten. "These records, they're incredible. Everything lost, preserved here." Kale nodded solemnly. "Yes, and we must ensure they are not lost again. This knowledge is our responsibility, our burden, and our weapon." The chamber's lights flickered as the ship's hum deepened. Outside the hull, dark shadows moved across the void of space, subtle, almost invisible, yet full of intent. Kale's eyes narrowed. "They're coming. The ones who hunted us, the ones who destroyed the Pioneer fleet, they will not wait. And when they arrive they will expect the ship to be defenseless. But it is not. Not anymore." Arya clenched her fists. "Then we stand. We fight. We protect the past, and the future." Kale's gaze softened, but the warning was clear. "Yes, but remember, 1,000 years were lost. And now, the history you are about to face, will decide the fate of humanity again." The hum of the ship grew louder, almost like a pulse of life. The crew understood one thing clearly: the past was no longer forgotten. The ship, the human, and the secrets they carried were alive, and the galaxy would never be the same. The ancient ship hummed with life as the crew of the Orion's Light explored its corridors. Every panel, every glowing symbol, seemed to pulse with anticipation. Commander Kale Varric moved ahead, guiding the team, eyes sharp and wary. "We are not alone," he warned. "They have found us." Outside the hull, in the dark void of space, subtle shapes appeared, small, sleek vessels moving silently, almost invisible against the black. The enemy had tracked the signal. They were patient, calculated, and deadly. Lieutenant Rin Voss tapped rapidly on the console. "Captain, multiple contacts. Unknown ships. They're closing in fast. We're outnumbered." Captain Arya Kane clenched her fists. "Then we prepare." "Kale, tell us what to expect." Kale's eyes narrowed. "These are the Hunters, the same forces that destroyed the Pioneer fleet. They are relentless, and they will not stop until this ship and everything it protects is theirs. We cannot negotiate. We fight, or we die." Dr. Leora Chin stepped forward. "The ship, can it defend itself?" Kale looked around, eyes sharp. "It can. But it will not act blindly. We must coordinate with it. Its power is not ours alone to command. It tests those who use it." Suddenly, the lights along the walls of the ancient ship pulsed rapidly, and mechanical panels shifted, revealing hidden compartments. Energy weapons, long dormant, powered up with a soft hum. The ship was preparing for the inevitable. Rin's hands trembled as he watched. "It's alive, it's choosing to defend itself with us. This is incredible." Arya nodded. "Then we follow Kale's lead. Everyone to positions. This is going to be our first battle together." The enemy ships drew closer, their dark hulls glinting faintly in the distant starlight. Without warning they opened fire, energy beams cutting through the void, striking near the ancient vessel. The crew ducked as the ship's defenses activated. Panels shifted, shields glowed, and the enemy's beams were deflected harmlessly into space. Kale moved swiftly, pointing to a control panel. "We can guide the ship's defense systems. Focus on the attackers closest to us. Trust its intelligence, it knows more than you think." Rin and Leora worked together, activating the ancient weapons and scanning for weak points in the enemy formation. The air was tense, filled with the sounds of humming machinery and distant explosions echoing through space. "This ship is incredible," Rin whispered. "It's not just alive, it's thinking. It's adapting." Kale nodded. "It preserved me, trained me, and now it protects the galaxy once more. But we cannot rely on it alone. We must fight alongside it." Outside, the enemy ships regrouped, circling like predators. The battle had begun in earnest. Beams of energy lit the darkness, striking the ancient ship, which moved with unexpected speed and precision. Shadows danced across its hull as it deployed defensive drones, small, agile machines that intercepted the enemy fire. Arya barked orders, coordinating the crew. "We focus on defense first, then counterattack. Protect Kale and the ship at all costs." The awakened human moved with calm authority, guiding the crew through the ship's controls. "Aim for their propulsion systems. Disable them, do not destroy them yet." We need information. They are only the first wave. More will come. Energy flares exploded outside the hull as the crew followed Kale's instructions. The ship itself seemed to respond, gliding effortlessly through space, its weapons firing with precision. Each move was deliberate, almost intelligent, as if the ship were alive in the truest sense. Suddenly, one enemy vessel broke formation and charged directly at them. Incoming! Rin shouted. The crew braced as the ship's energy shield flared, absorbing the impact. Sparks flew along the hull, but the ancient vessel remained intact. Kale's voice was calm but firm. The ship tests us. Stay focused. Every action matters. We cannot fail. Arya felt a rush of adrenaline. This was more than a battle, it was a trial. The crew, the human, and the ship itself were united against an enemy that had waited 1,000 years for this moment. The enemy ships faltered under the combined assault of the crew and the ship's ancient technology. One by one they were disabled, their energy beams scattered harmlessly into space. But Kale's expression remained serious. This is only the beginning. They are patient. They will return in greater numbers. And next time, they may bring forces we cannot defeat so easily. Arya nodded grimly. Then we prepare. We learn, we defend, and we survive. The ship has chosen us, Kale. We cannot fail. The hum of the ancient vessel filled the crew with both awe and determination. It was alive, it was powerful, and it had awakened for a reason. The threat was real, but together they had faced the first wave, and survived. As the enemy ships retreated into the darkness, Kale looked at the crew. This battle is over. But the war has only begun. The galaxy remembers us, and it will not forgive. And in that moment, the crew understood the truth. The ancient ship, the awakened human, and their own courage were all they had to face an enemy that had waited 1,000 years to return. The darkness of space was alive with energy. Enemy ships, sleek and relentless, surrounded the ancient vessel, their movements precise and calculated. The crew of the Orion's Light braced themselves as Commander Kale Varric stood at the center of the control room, calm yet commanding. They have returned, Kale said, eyes narrowed. And they bring greater numbers this time. Prepare yourselves. The ship will defend us, but it will need our help. Captain Arya Kane nodded, her fingers flying over the console. All stations ready for combat. Focus on defense first. Protect the ship. The hum of the ancient vessel grew louder, vibrating through the corridors. Lights pulsed along its hull and mechanical panels shifted, revealing hidden weaponry. Energy cannons emerged, their surfaces glowing with a faint blue light. Drones detached from compartments, hovering around the ship like silent guardians. This is incredible, Lieutenant Rinvos whispered, eyes wide. The ship is alive and it's fighting with us. Kale's gaze was sharp. It preserves us, yes, but it also tests us. Every move we make affects the outcome. Stay focused. Trust its guidance. The first wave of enemy ships attacked with coordinated precision. Energy beams cut through space, striking near the hull. The ancient ship responded instantly. Shields flared, absorbing the fire, while energy cannons fired in perfect synchronization. Drones intercepted incoming projectiles, tearing them apart before they could reach the crew. Dr. Leorichin monitored the energy flow. The ship adapts. It's changing its defense patterns every second. It knows their tactics before they act. Arya barked orders. Target the lead ships. Kale, guide us through the attack patterns. Kale nodded, moving through the control panels with fluid motion. Focus on disabling propulsion systems first. Do not destroy them completely, we need information. The rest, the ship will handle. The battle escalated. The enemy launched swarms of smaller drones, designed to overwhelm defenses. But the ancient ship reacted instinctively. Energy fields expanded, intercepting the swarms. The hull shifted slightly, adjusting its angle in space, dodging beams with unnatural precision. This ship, it's alive, Rin muttered. It's thinking. Kale's eyes were sharp. It preserved me, trained me, and now it fights. But it will not act blindly. We must cooperate. The enemy pressed harder. One massive ship broke formation, charging directly at the ancient vessel. Arya shouted, "Brace for impact." The ship pulsed with energy, shields flaring bright blue as the enemy collided with them. Sparks flew, but the vessel held. Then, with a sudden movement, the ship extended energy tendrils, pulsating beams of power that immobilized the attacking vessel. It was like watching a living being fight, instinctively defending itself and its allies. Leora gasped. It's using weapons we don't even understand. This technology is centuries ahead. Kale's expression hardened. This is what we protected. The knowledge, the weapons, the systems, all of it was meant for this moment. To survive. To protect humanity even from itself. The crew coordinated with Kale, guiding weapons and scanning enemy weaknesses. Every strike, every move, was amplified by the ancient ship's instinctive intelligence. They realized the vessel was not just a ship, it was a guardian, a sentinel of history and power. Rin fired at a group of enemy drones, watching as the ship's defense systems amplified his shots, destroying the swarm with devastating precision. It's helping us. It's reacting to our actions. Kale nodded, eyes narrowing. Yes. But remember, its power is a test. We must act with courage and precision. One mistake could cost us everything. The battle raged on for what felt like hours. Energy beams streaked across space, explosions illuminated the void, and the hum of the ship grew into a thunderous roar. Yet the ancient vessel remained steadfast, guiding, protecting, and adapting. Suddenly the enemy flagship, larger and more powerful than the others, charged with full force. Arya shouted, "All hands focus fire. Kale, guide us." Kale's fingers moved swiftly, coordinating every defense and attack. The ship's energy panels glowed brighter than ever. Then, in a surge of light, the ancient vessel unleashed its full power. Energy waves radiated outward, striking the flagship and disabling its systems in a brilliant flash. The remaining enemy ships faltered, retreating into the darkness of space. The crew breathed in relief, adrenaline coursing through their veins. The battle was won, but Kale's expression remained serious. "This victory is temporary," he said. "They are patient. They will return stronger. And when they do, we must be ready." Arya looked around at her crew. "We survived because we trusted the ship, and because we worked together. We fight again, if we must, but we are stronger now." Kale's gaze softened, yet his voice carried a warning. "The ship has revealed its power. But it also revealed its tests. We have passed this trial, but the war is far from over. The galaxy remembers us, and it will not forgive." The hum of the ancient vessel returned to a steady pulse, like a heartbeat in the darkness. The crew understood one thing clearly: the ship was alive, it was powerful, and it had chosen them for a reason. And as the stars stretched endlessly before them, they knew that the battle had ended, but the war had only begun. The battlefield had cleared, but the darkness of space still felt heavy with unseen threats. The crew of the Orion's Light floated near the ancient vessel, exhausted but alive. Energy from the ship's systems pulsed gently around them, like a heartbeat settling after a storm. Captain Arya Kane leaned against the control console, taking a deep breath. "We survived," she said softly, though her mind raced with questions. "But this is only the beginning, isn't it?" Commander Kale Varric stood beside her, his gaze distant as he watched the void. "Yes," he said quietly. "The battle we fought was just the first wave. Our enemies are patient. They have waited centuries for this moment. And now, they know the ship is awake again." Lieutenant Rin Voss adjusted the controls, scanning the empty space around them. "They won't give up easily. There are more out there waiting, planning. And this ship, it's alive. It knows more than we do, doesn't it?" Kale nodded. "It is alive. It has knowledge, power, and intelligence beyond human comprehension. But it also tests us. It allows us to learn, to grow, and to survive. It chose us for a reason, because we can continue its mission. Protecting humanity, and the secrets that must not fall into the wrong hands." Dr. Leora Chen stepped closer to the glowing panels along the walls, her fingers tracing the symbols. "So, this ship, this human, and us, we are part of something bigger. A story that humanity forgot, but now must face again." Arya looked at Kale. "What do we do now?" Kale's eyes were sharp, yet soft with wisdom. "We prepare. We explore the ship fully, uncover its secrets, and understand its power. Then, when the enemies return, and they will, we will be ready. The ship has survived 1,000 years, and now it has awakened for us. For humanity." The crew moved through the corridors, guided by the gentle pulse of energy and Kale's knowledge. Hidden chambers revealed ancient records of the pioneer fleet, technology beyond comprehension, and maps of distant galaxies that humans had long forgotten. Every step felt like a journey through time itself. Rin paused before a holographic map, showing sectors of space unfamiliar to them. "There's so much we don't know. So much history lost, and now we have the chance to reclaim it." Kale nodded. "Yes. But with knowledge comes responsibility. The ship tests us not only to survive battles, but to see if we are worthy of the secrets it carries. One wrong choice could undo everything. Leora glanced at the dormant energy weapons along the walls. It's incredible, but terrifying. This technology, it's not just defense. It could reshape the galaxy if misused. Arya's hands clenched on the console. Then we must learn, we must protect, and we must survive. The ship has chosen us. We cannot fail, because what happens next will decide the fate of humanity itself. Kale's gaze softened as he looked at the crew, his expression filled with a strange mix of hope and warning. 1,000 years were lost. But now, the future begins again. And it begins with us. As they explored deeper into the ship, a faint signal appeared on the sensors. Another ship, or perhaps another presence, moving quietly in the void. Kale's eyes narrowed. Something else, or someone else, is out there. Waiting. Watching. The galaxy holds more secrets than even this ship can reveal. And we may not be the only ones who have survived. Arya's heart raced. Then we stay ready. We keep moving. We uncover everything we can. And we face whatever comes next, together. The ancient ship pulsed gently, like a guardian watching over them. The crew understood its silent message. The journey was far from over. They were now part of a story that had been waiting 1,000 years to continue. And as they looked out into the endless stars, one truth became clear. The past had awakened, the present was theirs to fight for, and the future was only beginning. The ship had survived 1,000 years lost. One human remained, and now humanity had a chance to rise again. The adventure was far from over.